Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So after an extended period of rest or holiday, I'm back to making some tech-based videos for my YouTube channel. I have done a couple of those in the past, but I didn't include any voice narration in them, so this will be again something more traditional. And so basically your host will remain unchanged. This is still David or Dave naturally. And as you can probably already make out from what is displayed on your screen, we're going to be doing something which requires, you could say, a bit more physical or manual labor, but most importantly, brains. If you have already researched this topic because you have bought this item, so we're going to be putting a solid rubber tire onto a rear wheel for the Xiaomi m365 Pro electric scooter. So we're going to be doing this and without employing microwave oven, so heating up the tire in this manner or cooking the tire in a bowl of water on a stove. So nothing of that sort is going to be used in this video presentation, but there is going to be a secret ingredient that will be used and is not displayed on your screen, and that is just your regular soapy water. So we're going to be doing that, and we'll see how the video progresses from there on. Before we dive straight in, I'm going to give you a brief description of the items that I'm going to be using, or tools as such, and of course some plan of work. Before I'll start, I'll have to find a good spot naturally in order to do this, but most importantly I'm going to have a proper distance between the floor on what I'm going to be doing and of course the actual aluminum rim, so I'll have the proper height because I don't want to damage this centerpiece or on the other side, bend it somehow. So I'm going to be using two regular wooden firewood logs in order to place the rim on top of that, so I'll be able to execute the operation without that kind of worry. And I'm going to be helping myself with that. I'm probably just going to be using two, but I have prepared more tools. These are just three basic steel or iron crowbars. They are really ancient. I think they even belong to my grandfather after my mom's side. I'll show them to you much more up close. And usually in videos like this, you would see people helping themselves with zip ties in order to secure the solid tire from slipping or dislodging itself from the position on the aluminum rim. I'm going to be basically just using two completely solid strand or full copper wires and some pliers in order to secure everything into place. You can find them in your electrical outlets. Some quick overview of the solid tire I'm going to be installing. So this is the one. I think this is basically the latest design of this type of solid tire. I haven't seen anything new, so naturally it's brand new. Now then, just a couple of words on the actual aluminum rim. So this is the original stock rim that I had on my electric scooter. So as you can probably already see, there are lots of not so elegantly concealed sections of the off, or also some scratches. Yeah, so this can give you some idea that I wasn't riding the electric scooter as often as I'd like. I had lots of punctures or flats. I made a post on that on the electric scooters subreddit. I think I'll add probably the link to that in the description part of the video if you want to read a little bit more about it. Hence also the reasons why I decided to use a solid rubber tire in the first place. Yeah, so it has some scratches also here on the center. When I was removing the outer tire with my screwdriver, I scratched this a lot, so I think it's only logical that I put the solid rubber tire onto this aluminum rim, because I also have another one. So I'm going to be putting the solid tire onto this one. Here I was in my bathroom starting to prepare both items for the main event. I first started with the solid tire. I initially splashed some water all around, then played with the soap, trying to cover all possible angles in order for this to be nicely lubed up. And the procedure was then also repeated onto the rear aluminum wheel as well. Here I try to cover not only the inner section but also the outer edges as well, as these places are also very important. I think I miscalculated a bit when I first added the thicker blue solid strand copper wire onto the aluminum rim when I had a certain section of the solid tire mounted onto it, because I didn't tighten that wire much more with my pliers than I actually have. Because when I added, as you can see, the slimmer brown wire on a different section, I ended up having a lot of free air between both spaces, and that was giving me much problems later on when I was trying to use the crowbars to stretch the solid tire evenly on all sections in order to be properly seated, as you'll see later on. However, I did ultimately succeed in this, you could say, impossible task, as you'll see shortly in a couple of seconds. So after that intense battle, which lasted a little more than 6 minutes, I'm sure I could have done the job in half of that time, but nevertheless, so this is the result. So basically the solid tire hasn't fully, completely been seated into its respective position on the aluminum rim. So I'm going to have to finish that job. Probably I'll record that section as well, but mute the audio. I just used two bit thicker flat-headed screwdrivers in order to achieve the seating of the solid tire evenly on all sections of the aluminum rim, and I also give it a little spin. So I have removed all the residue from the soapy water on the outside of the rim as well as on the rubber tire itself. I have also patched up all the scratches that have happened during this procedure. Here one still remains. I just use basic black spray paint to do this, so I didn't even try to match the color to the rim. This is just basic. So now all I have to do is just mount the wheel onto the electric scooter and do some testing in terms of how much is the loss of range. So I'll probably make a separate video on that as well, do some side comparisons. In conclusion, this is therefore the end of this video tutorial on how to install a solid rubber tire onto the back aluminum rim or wheel for your Xiaomi m365 Pro electric scooter. I hope you found the video somewhat informational, that you learned something new, basically found a new approach on how to install this or succeed this task without traditionally installing this solid tire by using a microwave oven to preheat it to facilitate the change, or cooking the tire in a bowl of water on a stove, as these are pretty much the main two approaches on how to install this tire. So throughout the video I've only used soapy water as a sort of a lubricant to facilitate this task, and 3 crowbars with the addition of 2 solid strand copper wires, the ones that you can find in your electrical outlets, and a set of pliers. And of course, let's not forget the main important guest that appeared in this video for the first time, which was my mom. She helped me out by lending her foot and a pair of hands as well. So I think that definitely you need an extra set of hands or another person to help you out with this, even though I think that if you were to properly approach this task, you could do it by single hand, but nevertheless, an extra help is always great to have. So, if you have any questions, list them below in the comment section below, which is unlocked, and I invite you to a civil discussion. You can also subscribe, and don't forget to share the video and like it. This is David, and we'll see you in another video, hopefully very soon. Bye bye.